Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Voices of the Insurance Industry, an interview series where we get to know some of the most interesting and thought-provoking leaders in Connecticut's insurance marketplace. Voices of the Insurance Industry is a collaboration between the Connecticut CPCU Society Chapter and the Center for Career Development at the University of Connecticut. My name is Zach McInnes, and I'm the Assistant Director of Corporate Partner Relations here in the Center for Career Development, and I'll be facilitating our conversation today. Today, we're talking with Erin Violette, Senior Reinsurance Collection Specialist at the Riverstone Group. I'm excited to get to know Erin and to pick her brain about both her career journey and her perspective on what makes the insurance industry in Connecticut such a dynamic space. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, first question. What is your name and current job title, and how long have you been working in the insurance industry?
My name is Erin Violette. My job title is currently Senior Reinsurance Collection Specialist at Riverstone, and I've been in the insurance industry for a little over 20 years.
Excellent. And Erin, did you go to college? And if so, where did you go and what did you study?
Yep, so I went to Grove City College for a Bachelor of Science in Business Economics, and then later I got my MBA from UConn with concentrations in management and international business.
Woohoo! So we're talking to a UConn alumnus today.
Yes,
I love that.
for sure.
And so tell us a little bit about how you ended up working in the insurance industry.
Sure. So it was totally random. I graduated from college with a business degree. So, like most college students with a business degree, you can kind of take it many different directions. So I was really just job searching. I came back home to Connecticut. I kind of put feelers out with a bunch of companies, Travelers being one of them. And they called me for a job opening in their ceded reinsurance department. I had no idea what reinsurance or ceded reinsurance was, so I had to do a little homework before I went and interviewed, but I went in for the interview and the rest is history. I ended up staying in the reinsurance world ever since.
Excellent. I love that. And did you go right into your MBA after your undergrad, or was there kind of a break in between?
Yeah, so once I was at Travelers for a little while, I was kind of looking for, different opportunities. What could I do? Designations, that kind of thing. And since Travelers does have, program where they reimburse you for, certain degrees, I was able to go at night. So I went part-time down, in downtown Hartford and, did a couple classes at a time kind of thing. So it took me a few years.
That's great, though. Awesome. And so tell us tell us more about your current and your past jobs in the industry. What did a day in the life of Erin look like? What did you do every day?
Yeah, so I've been now with two different companies, Travelers for 18 years, and now I'm with Riverstone, and I've been here almost 2. So I've been in the ceded reinsurance world since I started. So if you're not sure what reinsurance is, as I did not know when I started, basically the high level kind of explanation you'll hear is that it's insurance for insurance companies. One reason companies get reinsurance is so that they can place higher policies like excess umbrella policies with larger limits. So in order to place those policies, they have to cede out pieces of the policy to other insurance companies. So my role has been related to collecting back from reinsurers when we have losses. So it, ranges from noticing reinsurers, researching really old reinsurance, billing reinsurers, and then collecting from them. So it results in you working on a lot of different claims. So I've handled environmental, asbestos, property, workers' comp, but all from a reinsurance perspective. So lots of different things to do. And now that I'm at Riverstone, I'm doing more collecting from reinsurers is my concentration.
Excellent. What is reinsurance? Was definitely one of my next questions. So thank you for preempting that. And so my next question for you is, what do you enjoy about your current job and what motivates you to wake up every day?
I think I like projects and fixing things. So I feel like, in this world, there's always things to make better, things to work on. I like jumping from project to project. I have, 20 tabs open at all times. So, I can be working on calculations, like complicated reinsurance calculations, but then I can move over to working on like a really extensive letter to a reinsurer. So it kind of is nice each day. If your brain isn't able to handle one thing, you can kind of, move on to something else that you can. So I like jumping around to different skill sets, I guess. And the new remote environment is something that I'm learning to enjoy, and I do enjoy it. I'm a full-time remote employee, even without COVID. Um, so it's kind of been nice after, 18 years of jumping out of bed at 5:30 in the morning and, going to work in the dark. I don't have to do that anymore, and I'm able to, be a little more flexible. So I do miss seeing people every day, but it is nice having that flexible work schedule that a lot of people are experiencing right now. So I like enjoying that.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you can always see them on Zoom or Teams or go to webinar or whatever
Nonstop.
platform.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so let's talk a little bit more about the insurance industry more broadly. What do you enjoy about working in it?
I think, over the years for me, it's probably been more the people that I've been working with more so than insurance. Um, Insurance can be interesting despite what people think, but I think it's been an industry where you really can find people to kind of guide you, train you, teach you new things. Um, and meeting people from different countries, backgrounds, states. It's kind of it's a very diverse international industry, especially on the reinsurance side. So it's been great. There's just always something new to learn. I can only speak to my little corner of the reinsurance world, but even just there's just always new things to learn, new things going on. So it just keeps you on your toes, and really you shouldn't be bored. There's always something new. So I like that.
Excellent. You're not the first person in this interview series to say that the best part of working in insurance is the people, and I really love that.
Yeah, true.
So tell me about any designations and or certifications that you hold. What was the journey like to obtain them, and how have they helped you in your career?
So I started with an ARE, which is Associates in Reinsurance. So I just kind of did that, right out of the gate, maybe a year or two after I started working, just for obvious reasons, because I was in reinsurance. So kind of seemed like the thing to do. And it was really, it was really great if you're in reinsurance. Then I realized that some of the ARE classes carry over to the CPCU designation. So like, all right, I'll get started on the CPCU. So I'm more of the type that I probably took like 1 to 2 tests per year. So it definitely took me a few years to finish the CPCU. And as I mentioned, I was doing my MBA. So one thing that was really helpful was combining some of the CPCU classes with MBA classes. So I remember I did my finance CPCU test I think right after I finished my finance class for my MBA, which was hugely helpful. So I did get through the CPCU, and I think it's completely worthwhile to take that, or a similar designation. They're tough, but when you're done, you feel like you have a very thorough understanding of the insurance world. I also, like, as I've interviewed people over the years, seeing that on a resume is huge. I know they had to work really hard to get that, and I know the kind of knowledge that they've probably taken out of it. So definitely would encourage anyone to look into it if you want to stay in the insurance industry. So it's worth
Excellent.
it.
Thank you. And so shifting gears a little bit, do you have any funny or interesting stories you'd like to share with us that have occurred during your career?
Yeah, so this probably isn't that funny or that interesting, but I was thinking recently about my first trip to London for work. I was probably 23, recently graduated. So we were given the opportunity to take a tour of Lloyd's of London, which is awesome. If anyone ever, has an opportunity to visit for a meeting or tour it or anything, it's very very interesting. But so it was me and a coworker, same age probably, and we had this very older gentleman, very British gentleman, giving us a tour. And I think as young Americans, he was trying to think of things that would interest us. So the whole tour, which was very interesting, but he kept telling us about famous people and like asking us like what we think they insured through Lloyd's, like which body parts, which, that kind of thing. So he was asking us if we knew who Jolo was. It was hilarious, but I've always remembered that to this day. I will never forget that tour, and definitely worth a visit for humor or not. But it's, the history there is amazing, and obviously it's an insurance iconic building, so it's worth a visit.
It's amazing. You've given me something to Google after our conversation today. And so let's do advice time, Erin, if you don't mind. So what would you say to students who are considering a career in insurance?
I think that this is probably one of the best times to consider a career in insurance, more so when I started in this industry even. It's the industry is changing so quickly. There's so many people that are going to be retiring in the next 5 to 10 years. I think this is a great time to kind of jump in, learn as much as you can from those people, and people that are ready to retire, ready to pass on their knowledge, and then learn from that and make it better, run with it. There's so many companies looking for college grads right now. It's, the need is there. We're looking for lots of motivated people. You don't need insurance or business degrees. There's people with English degrees, computer, math, anything. So I honestly think it's a great time. I think there's a lot of opportunities out there. So yeah.
Fabulous. I love two things of what you said just now. Number one being that there's a lot of opportunity at this specific moment for graduating students. It's not the first time I've heard that during this series of conversations. So that's great. And the second being that, the insurance industry could be a good fit for students from all different academic backgrounds.
100%.
So students don't have to be a business major. They can be, like you said, English or computer science, or really from any number of fields. So
I've worked with biology majors, and they're, just as good at all the stuff that a business major is doing. So
excellent. So you heard it here first, folks.
Exactly.
And then last question for you today, Erin. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today?
I think kind of in that same line of thinking, with your job searching, look at everything, go on interviews that you might not normally go on. I think the interview process and the people you meet are going to tell you so much more about the job than what you're reading on, a piece of paper. And again, I think there's so many opportunities out there, almost like a buyer's market in a way. Really just, don't just turn something down right away, really explore every option, because you honestly never know. I mean, like with me, I did not expect to end up where I was, but it's it could happen that way. So, explore everything fully before saying no.
Beautifully put. Thank you. Well, I sure learned a lot today. Thank you, Erin, for this great conversation, and thank you to everyone for tuning in. Until next time, this is Voices of the Insurance Industry.